Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world with me, Deepika, coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri to brief Parliament Standing Committee on External Affairs on the current India-Pakistan foreign policy developments post-Operation Sindoor. Operation Sindoor, a turning point for India, says Defence Ministry. Operation Sindoor displayed tri-services synergy, strategic depth and technological dominance. US President Donald Trump to hold telephonic conversation with Russian President Vladimir Putin on ending Russia-Ukraine conflict. Also plans to speak with Ukrainian President later. An Iranian foreign minister reaffirms Tehran's unwavering stance on its right to enrich uranium, says Iran to keep enriching uranium with or without a deal. A very good morning to all our viewers joining us at this morning broadcast. To begin with the latest, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri will brief the Standing Committee of Parliament on External Affairs on Monday on the current foreign policy developments regarding India and Pakistan. The Foreign Secretary will brief the Parliament panel headed by Congress Member of Parliament Shashi Tharoor on the developments, which were marked by India striking terror sites in Pakistan, followed by days of intense conflict between the two countries before they agreed to stop military actions. The Foreign Secretary has regularly briefed the committee on a host of foreign affairs issues, including developments in India's neighbourhood like Bangladesh and in its ties with Canada as well. The Ministry of Defence said that Operation Sindoor marked a turning point in India's defence doctrine, demonstrating tri-services synergy, strategic depth and technological dominance in response to the Pahalgam terror attack. Now, Operation Sindoor was conceived as a punitive and targeted campaign to dismantle the terror infrastructure across the line of control and deeper inside Pakistan. With precision airstrikes on key targets like Noor Khan and Rahimyar Khan air bases, robust naval posturing through a carrier battle group and effective Army BSF coordination on the ground, India showcased seamless multi-domain warfare. Under the operation, India carried out precision strikes on terror infrastructure early on the 7th of May in response to the 22nd of April Pahalgam terror attack. The ministry went on to add that the operation was powered by integrated systems like IACCS and Akash missile and backed by major reforms. CDL's led DMA, integrated theatre commands, joint logistics nodes and real-time joint exercises like Prachand Prahar and Desert Hunt. In the aftermath of the operation, Pakistan initiated a series of retaliatory attacks targeting key Indian air bases and logistical infrastructure. These attempts, however, were effectively neutralized by India's comprehensive and multi-layered air defense architecture. Simultaneously, the Indian Army demonstrated its preparedness and effectiveness in both defensive and offensive roles. The Army's air defense units worked in tandem with the Air Force, deploying a wide array of systems, the ministry said, adding these units were instrumental in countering waves of drones and loitering munitions launched by Pakistan. The ministry also highlighted the Indian Navy's role during the operation. The Navy's ability to establish uncontested control over the seas also validated its anti-missile and anti-aircraft defense capabilities in a complex threat environment. The anti-terrorist squad of North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh arrested a suspected Pakistani spy for allegedly working for Pakistan's intelligence agency and engaging in cross-border smuggling from Moradabad. According to UP ATS officials, credible information was received indicating that a man operating along the India-Pakistan border was involved in smuggling activities and was being supported by Pakistani intelligence operatives. Upon further investigation, ATS identified the suspect as Shehbaz Wahab, a resident of Rampur district. The ATS said that Shehzad had travelled frequently to Pakistan over the past several years and used these trips to illegally transport goods, including cosmetics, spices, clothing and other items across the border. The officer further added that Shehzad shared classified information with ISI agents and also facilitated financial transactions for Pakistani handlers operating in India. Moreover, Shehzad is suspected of recruiting individuals from UP, sending them to Pakistan under the pretext of smuggling or employment with the ultimate aim of assisting the ISI. Based on the collected evidence, the ATS registered an FIR at the ATS police station in Lucknow under relevant sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, including charges related to espionage and national security. He was presented before a competent court and further legal proceedings are underway. The spirit of patriotism is sweeping across the nation as the 11-day-long Tiranga Yatra continues to stir hearts and unite citizens in the honour of India's brave defence forces. The Yatra, organised to pay tribute to the forces behind Operation Sindoor, has witnessed overwhelming participation from all corners of the country.
The Tiranga Yatra, now in its 11th day, continues to spark a wave of national pride as people from all walks of life come together to honour the valour of India's armed forces in Operation Sindoor. In Gujarat, Union Home Minister Amit Shah led a grand rally in Sanand near Ahmedabad on Sunday. A massive gathering of enthusiastic citizens marched alongside, echoing unity and patriotic zeal. Further west, Maharashtra witnessed an awe-inspiring Tiranga rally where citizens came together in a powerful show of solidarity to salute the defense forces for their successful mission.
हम सभी जानते हैं ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में जिस प्रकार से भारत की सेना ने बहादुरी दिखाई है, पूरे देश में जनता भारत के सेना के साथ खड़ी है, देश के प्रधानमंत्री जी के संकल्प के साथ खड़ी है.
Down south in Hyderabad, the entire city stood in unison with the armed forces as a majestic Tiranga Yatra moved, marking a resounding tribute to those who executed Operation Sindoor in response to the recent terror attack in Pahalgam.
इस ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के जो हमारा सेना संघर्ष करके देश को विजय पथ पर चलाया और इस सेना को धन्यवाद देने के लिए, सेना को अभिनंदन करने के लिए, भारत सरकार को अभिनंदन करने के लिए हम भी सेना के साथ हैं, हम भी देश के साथ हैं, ये नारा लेकर आज ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के जो आज कार्यक्रम हैदराबाद में किया गया.
The wave of patriotism isn't limited to just metro cities. Similar yatras were held across the country, from Riyasi and Shopian in Jammu and Kashmir to Delhi, Bihar, Odisha and beyond, turning the tricolour into a nationwide symbol of gratitude and unity. With Bureau Inputs, Amish Mahajan's report for DD India.
The Embassy of India in Portugal responded firmly to a protest organised by Pakistani demonstrators near its Chancery building, calling it a cowardly attack. In a bold move, the Indian mission posted pictures of Operation Sindoor in retaliation. The pictures read, "Operation Sindoor is not over yet." Indian ambassador to Portugal, Puneet Roy Kundal, and other Indian diplomats stood proudly with large images of the operation as Pakistani protesters carried pictures of Pakistan's army chief Munir. The Indian embassy also expressed gratitude to the government of Portugal and local police for ensuring the safety and security of the embassy. India reaffirmed that such provocations would not intimidate the nation and that its resolve remains unshaken. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will embark on a 6-day visit of the Netherlands, Denmark and Germany beginning from Monday. During his visit, the minister is expected to meet the leadership of the three countries. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will start his 6-day European countries visit from the 19th of May and will hold discussions on the entire gamut of bilateral relations and regional and global matters of mutual interest. Dr. S. Jaishankar's Germany visit aligns with Friedrich Merz's new role as Federal Chancellor, signalling continued commitment to India-Germany strategic partnership. During his visit, the minister is expected to highlight Pakistan's relentless support for cross-border terrorism. In a historic achievement, the National Cadet Corps or NCC expedition team successfully scaled the highest mountain peak, Mount Everest, on Sunday. The team, consisting of 10 young cadets, 5 young boys and 5 young girls, braved extreme weather conditions to hoist the Indian tricolor and the NCC flag atop the world's highest peak. After rigorous training at Siachen Base Camp, the climbers demonstrated remarkable fitness and discipline during the ascent. Flagged off by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, this marks NCC's third Everest expedition following previous successful missions in 2013 and 2016. Weather updates now. The Indian Meteorological Department has forecast heavy to very heavy rainfall over Karnataka, Konkan and Goa along with Kerala and adjoining peninsular India till the 24th of May. Heavy to very heavy rainfall accompanied by thunderstorms and lightning is also likely over northeast India, sub-Himalayan West Bengal and Sikkim during the next 5 to 6 days. The weatherman has forecast isolated to scattered light to moderate rainfall with thunderstorms, lightning and gusty winds over Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh and Himachal Pradesh till the 20th of this month. Isolated to scattered light to moderate rainfall is also likely over Uttarakhand till the 24th of May. Meanwhile, heatwave conditions are likely over West Rajasthan till the 22nd of this month. Hot and humid weather is likely to prevail over Odisha till Monday. The IMD department in Visakhapatnam has issued a red alert for Annamaya and Sri Satya Sai districts. A severe thunderstorm is expected to bring lightning, strong winds of up to 60 km per hour and heavy rainfall within the next 3 hours. Time to take a short break, but still to come on DD India Live. Britain hopes to secure a deal with European Union SPM Starmer, all set to host the leaders on Monday. Former US President Joe Biden diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. In sports, Carlos Alcaraz routs Yannick Sinner to win Italian Open in Rome.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India Live. Now, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is all set to host European Union leaders in London on Monday in the most significant efforts to reset ties since Britain left the European Union in 2020 after 4 years of acrimonious talks. Starmer is trying to secure a deal that will include tangible benefits for Britons to offset the concessions it will need to make to Brussels. Britain wants the deal to include the use of faster e-gates for British travellers at European Union borders, reduced red tape on food trade, and a new defence and security partnership that could allow British companies an access to an European Union loan scheme worth $167 billion. It also hopes to agree closer ties on energy and carbon markets, better cooperation on migration, smuggling gangs, the mutual recognition of certain professional qualifications, as well as access for touring artists and data sharing. Updates on Russia-Ukraine conflict now. US President Donald Trump will speak with Russian President Vladimir Putin, followed by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and the NATO leaders to push for a ceasefire deal between Russia and Ukraine. Concluding their meeting in Turkey's Istanbul on Friday, delegations of Russia and Ukraine agreed to hold a new round of negotiations and have a large-scale prisoner exchange. As a key outcome of the 2 hours talk, the two sides agreed to a prisoner exchange involving 1,000 people from each side. Early on Thursday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that a Ukrainian delegation would attend the upcoming peace talks in Istanbul with a commitment to ending the conflict with Russia, though he would not personally show up at the negotiating table. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and fellow leaders of France, Germany and Italy again pressed the need for sanctions against Russia in a call with President Donald Trump before his telephone summit with Vladimir Putin. Now, Starmer, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, France's President Emmanuel Macron and Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk also spoke with Donald Trump after the Istanbul talks. The leaders discussed the situation in Ukraine and the catastrophic cost of the conflict to both the sides. Looking ahead to Trump's call with Putin today, the leaders discussed the need for an unconditional ceasefire and for Putin to take peace talks seriously. European leaders stepped up the warnings of new sanctions against Russia. Now, amid a new burst of diplomacy, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky met US Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio on the sidelines of the Vatican ceremony. It was the first meeting between Zelensky and J.D. Vance since they clashed during talks at the White House in February. Zelensky said the meeting was good and reaffirmed that Ukraine is ready to be engaged in real diplomacy. The European Union is seeking a defence partnership with Australia as the bloc looks to forge a united international response to the Ukraine conflict and other global crises. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen pointed to similar security agreements the bloc had inked with South Korea and Japan late this year. The European Union has been racing to build new security ties as it confronts fears the United States may walk away from the continent under President Donald Trump. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced a decision to lift the blockade on Gaza to allow the entry of limited aid as international criticism mounts over the severe humanitarian crisis in the enclave. In a statement, Netanyahu's office said Israel will allow the entry of a basic quantity of food for the Gaza population to prevent a hunger crisis. It added that the move followed a recommendation by the military and was motivated by the operational need to expand the intense fighting to defeat Hamas. UN agencies have reported worsening humanitarian conditions in Gaza since the blockade was imposed on the 2nd of March. The Integrated Food Security Phase Classification reported earlier in the month of May that about 93% of Gaza's population was experiencing food insecurity ranging from crisis to catastrophe levels. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi stated on Sunday that the country will continue enriching uranium with or without a deal with world powers. Despite ongoing nuclear negotiations, Araghchi emphasized Iran's stance, asserting that if the US seeks to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons, a deal is possible. He also reaffirmed Iran's right to enrich uranium for peaceful purposes, though it may accept temporary restrictions on levels and amounts. Currently, Iran enriches uranium to 60%, well above the 3.67% limit set by the 2015 deal, but far below the 90% required for nuclear weapons. Araghchi also expressed willingness to rebuild trust with European powers and emphasized that Iran is open to new talks with Europe, provided they approach the issue independently. Meanwhile, European powers are weighing whether to trigger the snapback mechanism, reinstating United Nations sanctions in response to Iran's nuclear activities. Now, Canada has temporarily paused some counter tariffs against the United States, but Finance Minister Francois-Philippe Champagne on Sunday pushed back against claims they have all been quietly lifted. Now, this came as Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney and US Vice President J.D. Vance discussed trade in Rome after they attended the inauguration mass at the Vatican for Pope Leo XIV. Vance, in a brief statement, called it a casual meeting about their two nations' shared interests and goals, including fair trade policies. Carney's office said that Canada's counter tariffs were calibrated to respond to the US while limiting economic harm to Canada. Carney, who won Canada's April 28th election on a pledge to stand up to US President Donald Trump, had slapped counter tariffs on billions of dollars of imports from the United States in response to US tariffs on Canadian goods. Moving on. Former US President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has spread to his bones. His office confirmed the diagnosis after he sought medical attention for urinary symptoms with a prostate nodule detected. The cancer is hormone sensitive, allowing for effective management, though hormone therapy isn't a cure. 82 years old Biden's Gleason score of 9 indicates a serious case. US President Donald Trump has expressed sadness, while Kamala Harris has also offered words of support. Meanwhile, former President Barack Obama said that Joe Biden will fight cancer with his trademark resolve and grace. The Bidens, deeply familiar with cancer, continue to review treatment options as they confront this new health challenge. Time for business updates now. Microsoft envisions a future where any company's artificial intelligence agents can work together with agents from other firms and have better memories of their interactions. Microsoft is holding its Build conference in Seattle on the 19th of May, where analysts expect the company to unveil its latest tools for developers building AI systems. But making an AI agent's memory better costs a lot of money because it requires more computing power. Microsoft is focusing on a new approach called structured retrieval augmentation, where an agent extracts short bits of each turn in a conversation with a user, creating a roadmap to what was discussed. In sports, Carlos Alcaraz lifted the Italian Open on Sunday after beating rival Jannik Sinner in straight sets in the final. Alcaraz won his third title of the season just before the French Open that kick-starts next week. The Spaniard claimed victory in his fourth final of the season and fired a warning message to the rest of the men's tour for Roland Garros, where he will defend the title. Sinner tops the world rankings, but his 26-match winning streak was ended by Alcaraz, also the man who had last beat him in last year's China Open final. Alcaraz is the only man to beat Sinner in a tour final since the start of 2024, when his Italian rival began his rise to the top of men's tennis and 3 Grand Slam titles. In cricket, Gujarat Titans qualified for the playoffs after beating Delhi Capitals by 10 wickets at the Arun Jaitley Cricket Stadium at the ongoing IPL edition. Gujarat Titans' victory also sealed Royal Challengers Bengaluru and Punjab Kings' qualification for the last 4 stage. Batting first, Delhi Capitals scored 199 for 3 on the back of KL Rahul's unbeaten 112 off 65 balls. In reply, openers Sai Sudarshan and Shubman Gill scripted an incredible run chase without losing a wicket. Sudarshan hammered his second ton in IPL, while Gill scored 93 runs to make light work of the target. Delhi Capitals, meanwhile, must win both of their remaining matches and rely on other results to stand a chance of qualifying for the knockout stage. On the other hand, Punjab Kings defeated Rajasthan Royals by 10 runs in Jaipur on Sunday to enhance their chances of reaching the IPL playoff. Punjab Kings skipper Shreyas Iyer won the toss and opted to bat. They posted 219 runs for the loss of 5 wickets and thanks to 50s by Nehal Vadera and Shashank Singh. Vadera struck 70 runs off 37 balls, while Shashank remained unbeaten on 59. Iyer made valuable contribution of 30 runs after they lost 3 wickets in power play. In reply, Rajasthan Royals openers Yashasvi Jaiswal and Vaibhav Suryavanshi gave the home side a fiery start, scoring 76 runs in 4.5 overs. But once Suryavanshi was dismissed by Harpreet Brar in the 5th over, wickets started tumbling at regular intervals and Royals could manage 209 runs for the loss of 7 wickets at the end. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.